Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. It's been a while since I put a Waxel World video out here, but I wanted to get one out there because I think it was late last week, Ryu mentioned a huge bit of news that everybody should be aware of. So far, what we have in game right now is what we have been talking about for quite some time now. You get ninjas, you go out and you save some citizens, you turn those citizens into professionals, and those professionals gather, craft, and do a number of things for you. And you basically earn different material and different items throughout that process. The next phase, Ryu has gone through and he's announced the next phase. It's also been included on the roadmap. It is going to be the housing system. It's going to be the housing expansion that's going to be coming here in the near future. They just finished really the conceptual phase, I guess you could call it, the early design phase. So they're going to go through the design and development. It's not going to be a short process, as you've seen from any game that you've ever played. When it involves an expansion, it is not a 1 or 2 week process. It's going to be several months, so be aware of that as we're going through it. Having said that, it's going to be a very interesting addition and a chance for you to really get your own stamp on the game, and we'll talk about that here in the near future. In addition to that, they've also announced some future possible expansions that could be coming down the road. And I just want to highlight on this very quickly. For example, new professionals that include hunters, fishermen, and cookers, energy system, heroes, missions and dungeons. That's something I'm super excited about. Companions and pets, and also just different Waxel towns that you can go there and basically creating a metaverse, which is super neat. And we've talked about it briefly in the past, but it's neat to actually start to see this in the roadmap itself. But the thing I wanted to focus on for today's video is the housing expansion. What Ryu did was he actually provided an announcement here. I guess it's August 1st, so it's been a little over a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago by the time you're probably watching this video. What I want to do is go through this. They had a number of different options that they were looking at, and they ended up settling on the housing system mostly because it's a foundational item. It's basically you can one get your own little space in the game that you can design any way. It burns a lot of materials because you have to build your house, you have to design your house, you can make it any way you want, and it's also, like I said, a foundational because it really introduces other possible items that you can have. Potentially, you can have your own pets, you can have your own um, different items. You can walk around your space. You can down the road, once it becomes a multiplayer portion of it, you can visit other people's houses. Maybe there'll be shops and stuff like that involved. That's all pure speculation. But let me go ahead and through this. Why do they want to start? Like I said, it's a foundational item. It's going to start out as a single player expansion of the game, and eventually down the road be a multiplayer option. It's a lot easier to go ahead and design and create the single person version of it. That's why they want to focus on that, get that established, iron out all the kinks, and then pull in the multi-person side of it. A big part of it is it's going to use a lot of materials. Right now, I think the market is getting a little saturated with materials. Yes, you can craft items that are going to make production and craft not crafting but gathering more efficient. But that can only happen so many times. So it's so it's nice to see that they're thinking about the materials down the road and really being able to use those. And I think this is going to be a good use case for that. It also gives you endless possibilities as far as personalization and decoration, which is going to be great. I had mentioned that before. It's the first step to their version of the metaverse, which is going to be nice to see in a future announcement. They mentioned that they're already working or talking with other projects as far as collaborations and actually not combining the two projects together, but intermixing the two projects and multiple projects together. And as they keep mentioning, it's a chance to get a personal and a special space that's your stamp on it, and you can start using and looking at. What do they have planned for this housing system? You own your own parcel of land. The one question that I have out there that I know they're not necessarily ready to answer now is is it going to be given to us as part of the game, similar to when you go over here and you look at the town hall and the camp and stuff like that? Or is this going to be an NFT like most places? Most games have a land aspect to it where you can use your land, whether it's for your personal use or you can use it for renting out and financial gain. So my speculation is I'm assuming it'll be some sort of NFT that you purchase. I know the building itself, actually building the house, is going to take material. You basically build a base house, and you can go ahead and upgrade it with additional material as you go forward. You can decorate it. Nice thing is you can decorate both the inside and the outside of it. It's going to include new gatherers, refiners, and crafters. I'm really curious to see what that all includes because right now we have metal, we have wood, and we have cloth. So I'm curious, and I know in the roadmap they had talked about hunters. Let me quick jump back over that. They talked about hunters, fishers, and cooks. So I can see that because you'll actually use the food in the house, which I'm sure will give you some sort of bonuses down the road. But I'm curious what they're going to put in there with the new materials. Obviously, with new gatherers, refiners, and crafters, there's going to be new materials involved, new crafting recipes. So a lot of cool things that they're adding. Shortly after they put this announcement out there, they did another announcement with a little more details. I guess the next step of the details, they did mention that they're really close to the end of the concept phase. If you're not familiar with game design, concept phase is really where they're brainstorming a lot of different things, possibilities, um, what the options are, and then it goes into basically the design and the development phase, which takes those ideas and really starts putting them into together. So we're still very early in the process of this expansion. So please keep that in mind. Don't go over in the Discord and start asking when. It's going to be months, so be ready for that. They did mention that they finalized really the new professions that are going to be involved. I'm curious to see what those are, as I just mentioned. Also, the new materials. There's one thing I wanted to highlight. Basically, this right here shows that are brainstorming. As you can see, there's a lot involved with this, not just with this expansion, but somehow involving this expansion into the overall game. This is complex. This is not a simple task. This is not a simple clicker where you click a button every hour, you get certain materials that you craft, and there's really three materials, and that's it. You're just clicking a button and then crafting and selling and dumping. There's a lot more complexities to this game, as you can already see from the game itself by the multiple steps that you have to go through just to get the equipment, to get a pickaxe, to get that refined. So keep that in mind. Super cool things that are happening. I also wanted to throw out there, they did a sneak peek probably about a week ago when you're watching this, which I don't know if you all saw it. There's going to be a new check button. If you go over to the game here and I go over and I do bulk, let me actually select a bunch. You do bulk, I can search in bulk, I can register and unregister in bulk, but one of the painful parts is actually checking each of your ninjas. Um, so they are planning on adding that additional check into the bulk selection, both for the ninjas and eventually also for the professionals, which I think is a huge quality of life, little efficiency thing for most users that are super excited about it. They tried to implement this. They ran into some issues where it was costing really 100 more CP than it should. So they did back it out. They're going through and doing some continuing testing. So this is coming. They're continuing to work on it. I think it's awesome. I think that's going to be a huge benefit for us as players. So keep a lookout for that. They also mentioned a few other things in this announcement that I wanted to highlight. They are starting to ramp up the marketing for the game. If for those of you that have been here for quite some time, you know they wanted to establish a game and get a really good game. That was the focus. They weren't doing a lot of marketing. Some con- content creators and players like myself really wanted to push it because we were super excited about it, but they were focused on the right things because they wanted to get that game established and give you a good product before we start marketing. They are now going through the process of getting more Nifty banners out there and really getting more other projects for collaborations. I'm assuming more content creators are going to start putting stuff out there about this. If they're not, they should. Let me just throw that out there. So any other content creators that are watching this video, if you're not playing the game, definitely start trying it. It's very underrated right now in the community, even though it was very anticipated for the launch. So I hope you're all excited about this. It shows that if you look, and I'm trying to get over to it, it's not going to let me. If you look at this road or the screen here, and I can't zoom into it, let me see if I can open a different screen. There we go. If you look at this, right now, this is the only part of the game that's being utilized. There is so much more expansion, and they are here for the long term. And I love that they're setting this up for a much, much bigger game. They've already talked about other cities. They've talked about obviously the housing expansion. There's going to be dungeons. There's going to be adventures and missions. So if you're not into this game, I highly encourage you to get out there and take a look at it. There's 10,000 total ninjas that are going to be available. Well, technically there's now 9,999 because one was quote unquote accidentally burned. Whoops. There will never be any additional ninjas. There may be ninja heroes, there may be some other things that come out that are related, but there will never be any other ninjas. And there's still packs available. So once I think the packs sell out and they continue to expand, not financial advice, please do your own research. But I could see the value of this and the long-term potential of this game being huge. So don't sleep on this. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I hope you're all excited about the housing expansion, just like I am, because it's a foundation for a lot of other things to come. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.